First thing though was when I was going through your book again and looking at it is you said that there was a need to come up with a new methodology for a pitch. What do you mean by that? What was your premise behind that?
Well, I think what most people are comfortable with and have seen done historically has really been this style of pitching where you go into an office, you put up a slide, PowerPoint slide. The PowerPoint slide has 22, 30, 44 slides, and then you sort of read your slides to the audience, and you are transferring information from you to them, all right? And that's really your purpose in the room. And what's missing, one is the human connection. We can talk about that later. That's the soft stuff. But the narrative. So what happens is when you give your audience or the buyers the information about the deal, then they form the narrative of what's going on in their own mind. And so they frame what is happening in the deal on their own without assistance from you. And I would say out of, we run an investment bank, out of 100 deals that walk in, 99 of them will get up and give us the information about their deal, right? And they start immediately what the product is, how many customers they have, what's exciting that's going on in the media with them, and then the next thing we want to know is what's the price, right? So companies go, whether it's a product or it's investment banking, they go from information, features and benefits, price. And that's a real broken system because most of the buyers don't even want to talk to you once they have that little bit of information, and they just want to grind on price. So information is not really a leverage point anymore. It's the narrative of what's happening in the deal. So I can talk about that, right? So what happens is guys come in and present to us, or companies hire us and we see their presentation. And they start off their presentation to an investor and say, we have a beer can stamping machine. That's the first word about the business, right? And it is cheaper to manufacture. It is creates better beer cans that last longer and is connected to the internet, which has all these features and benefits. For that reason, lots of companies are buying our beer can stamping machine and they love it. That's causing us to grow, and now we want to raise some growth capital. That's your standard pitch, right? So what's wrong with that is there's no context in terms of, is this important? Where does this fit in the grand architecture of the economy? And so what we would do with that pitch is say, hey, today everything's changing. For example, if you have manufacturing equipment that is not putting out data back to some central headquarters, you are working in a 15-year-old environment. Boeing's one engine from Boeing's new Dreamliner transfers a terabyte of data every 2 hours back to headquarters. So there's some major themes going on in manufacturing. One is equipment is getting connected to the internet. Two, there's a resurgence of manufacture in the US. And three, beer is overtaking wine for the first time in high-end restaurants. Okay, and these three macro trend lines are in phase with our business, and that's why we're growing so quickly. So the difference between the first pitch I gave you was product-centric, company-centric, and the second one was, let me give you some framing or context about why what we're doing is important. So that was a long answer, but you asked, why do we need a different way of pitching? And because the old way is really broken, because, and I'll summarize it like this. When you walk in a room, most of the pitch, the information part of your pitch, they already know. There's barely a room I go into unless they're just complete knuckleheads or it's an early stage deal. They've done their research online. They've seen your deck. They've looked at the competitors. They've looked at the fundamental research around your area. They may know more than you do because you're busy running your business, right? So what, you're going to give information? You flew 1,000 miles. You probably spent $10,000 to take a meeting to give people information they already know. That's broken, all right? And so we try and keep people from stepping in that bear trap.